It's time to stop obsessing over everything that has been going wrong and to start putting your energy and a focus towards the things that you do want. Why are you paying attention to everything that is going wrong and not spending enough attention on the things that could go right? This is a question I've had to ask myself in the past few months. As a person who has been working independently for a really long time since I was 17 years old, and I'm not 17 anymore, clearly, I've just noticed that building Shopify stores to working in corporate for like a season to then now running my own business as a solo, I guess, independent entrepreneur has been one of those things that has led me to understanding the truth that mindset is everything. And I really haven't been speaking on this enough on my channel. And it really does play a bigger part than you really could ever imagine. And what you do put your energy and focus towards is where the attention and effort is going to go. So if you're a person who is pursuing something, you're constantly thinking about the things that are going wrong, it is easier said than done to, oh, just focus on the positive, be optimistic. This isn't what I'm telling you. This isn't that video. It's one of those things where it's like you have to consciously and cognitively actually think about the things that you want and almost visualize them in a sense and really see yourself in those different roles. I have people who I've constantly listened to. I've had mentors as well as people who are really close to me who have seen success, and they've all have the same thing in common. And we're going to get into that in this video. They all have this one thing in common between them, which is unrelenting drive, yes, but it's also an unrelenting ability, an decision to realize that you are going to succeed no matter what. They believe that no matter what, it's going to happen. It's easy for them. Somehow something's going to come up and it's going to work out for them. And I know that sounds like toxic positivity, but it really isn't. I feel like that's also overused. But having the mindset and outcome of even no matter when you're going and how things are going, of understanding that things are going to work out no matter what, and almost being a little delulu. Delulu is the salulu because of the fact that there's so many things that can take you off your mark if you let it. And when you're trying to build anything, there's going to be resistance, there's going to be no's, there's going to be so many things that are going to be had. There's going to be redirections and literally people just trying to bring you down for no reason. But throughout those things, there's always going to be that choice of what it is that you choose to, how you choose to respond to things in the moment of, whether it is you have to make a decision, whether it is that you have to pivot, or whether it is that you have to literally create something. So, with that being said, there is no solution to the problem. It's just kind of the perspective of things. And I speak a lot on this channel about positivity, as I speak about a lot on this channel about talking and really focusing in on the mindset of what it takes to build a business from the ground up. And a lot of times it isn't talked about enough, which is the spiritual as well as the mental aspect of what it means to start a business, to grow a business, and to keep that business. It is quite literally a form of, you can call it magic. We're in the month of October while I'm filming this, and you can call it manifestation magic, whatever you want to call it. Prayer is also a type of magic, but we're not going to get into that whole type of video. But in a sense, it's almost like you're literally having a conceived thought. We're going to take Apple, for example, and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs started Apple from a conception with him and Steve Wozniak. If I'm not mistaken, Steve Jobs created the prototype for the first, I think it's Macintosh Mac computer. And it was like this big clunky thing. It was like white or something like that. And so him and Steve Wozniak, if I'm not mistaken, were creating it in his garage. And then, from a conception of a thought that he wanted to create the next personal home computer. Like that's such a, big thing, but he actually took it upon himself to come up with the prototype, develop it, and the first year Apple was in business, it was a literal unicorn and it made $1 million in like I think it was the 70s or something like that. So, with that in mind, that whole process of starting from the conception of just an idea into a computer, into then having people understand, like, okay, these are product, to then making $1 million. It's definitely not a straight line. Definitely for that business, there was probably a lot of preparation and a lot of things behind it, the scenes. But what if Steve Jobs didn't think that he could make a MacBook or a Mac computer? Now, take that in mind. What if Steve Jobs didn't think that he could make a MacBook? I wouldn't even been able to film this video. We wouldn't have social media. We wouldn't have all of these things. So, not to say like everything boils down to that, but just thinking of the fact that your ideas and that thing that you've been wanting to drive at and to get at, it can be that unicorn possibly for yourself, or maybe even whatever it is that you feel called to do. It doesn't have to blow up overnight, and it doesn't have to do or be successful right away. It can flop actually. But just the idea of creating something in your mind first and then bringing it to life is, and in fact, a form of magic almost in a sense. And yeah, just having those ideas, cultivating them, culminating them, and putting them into action and making actionable steps in order to produce the ideal results or similar result to what you want is a form of magic or alchemy or manifestation, whatever you want to call it. And understanding that does play a part in, business. It plays a part in your relationships. It plays a part in so many, facets, including like art. There's so many parts that being able to think about something and putting it and having it, turn into the physical. Let me also tell you guys this, that we live in an age where you can quite literally utilize something like this as the iPad, and taking this tablet and creating or filming a video just like this or just posting like this can quite literally draw out or put out whatever it is that you want into the powerful. And it all starts with the thought process and the mindset of how it is that we see things. The way that I speak my videos, it really is from more of a spiritual sense. I'm a person who likes to talk about, not necessarily religion, but I talk about spirituality on this channel because I'm a spiritual person, and also because, like I said, business itself is a form of spirituality and manifestation. And believing is part of receiving and like conceiving ideas. With that being said, I hope that you guys took something positive from this and that you don't want to do world domination or anything like that, but you found something useful from this video that you'll in fact use in whatever it is that you're building. I recommend you guys comment. I would actually want to see comment what you're building in the comments if you made it this far into the video, and really tap into the fact that you should start obsessing over the things that you want to draw into whatever it is being. And I really urge you all to, start obsessing not only about yourself, but obsessing about the things that you actually want to become, the things that you actually want to, you dream about and actually want to put into actual actualization in person, in physical form. So with that all being said, yeah, hopefully I get this before October ends. I think I will. And I will see you guys on the next one.